Hi everyone. I just wanted to thank you guys for an absolutely great year. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much for the support on the channel, all the great comments I've received. It's been a pleasure. I know I'm a little late posting, even though it's been a while since Trainfest. I did want to show you guys my big purchases from Trainfest. I'm a huge Chicago Northwestern fan, so when Tangent dropped their new ICC Cabooses, I had to have them. So we're going to give you a little bit of a review, as well as kind of show you guys where we came from and where modeling is going. So hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching. Now, I can't think of a better way to kick this video off than to talk about where we've come from. So I was in my teenage years when this model came out from Athearn, when they first started to roll out the ready-to-roll equipment. I bought this as a kid with very little money, but this was the best model I think you could get at the time. Nobody had seen this amount of decal work, this good of a paint job. The Zito Yellow was the best thing on the market, as the only other thing comparable would have been Proto, and even a lot of Proto's Chicago and Northwestern paint jobs weren't necessarily the best. When you consider I paid $16 as a kid for this model, which today would be about $50 or $60, it was the best thing that you could get. Ready to roll, Katy couplers, steel wheels. It's a little light, but I've run this car so many times. This has been the end of a lot of trains at our local model railroad club. Its prototype, Athearn used a Southern Pacific caboose, so obviously it doesn't look the best. It's supposed to be an 80s rebuild, but it has the catwalk still. Can't be too harsh on it when you consider what was available at the time. There was nothing else like it. Had good rivet detail, just all around excellent. But can't really hold a torch to what we have today, especially when Tangent came hot out of the gate with these new releases. I cannot thank Tangent enough for going and making the choice to actually model these beautiful ICC cabooses. They are perfect down to the last detail. If you go back and look at each of these cars individually after their rebuilds or at their building, they are accurate to a T. The crew at Tangent did an absolutely amazing job recreating these cars. As you can see, they did the as-built in 1966, the 1970s rebuilds, and the classic 1980s final rebuild that most people would remember from. It really can't be overstated how much detail and hard work Tangent put into these cars. I mean, in 1966, this is exactly what you would have seen trackside. The Chicago Northwestern was still using the classic red that they had used during the steam era days on their cabooses. These cabooses still had coal-fired stoves in them for heat, and you still had a roof walk for crew to go up on, which is unthinkable today, but at the time, still a very common practice. The level of detail, the fact that you still have friction bearings, it's just absolutely incredible. Oh, and look at that beautiful decal work. Just so many small touches. and really going above and beyond in detail. As you can see here, look at all that see-through grating, the extra truck detail, the brake rigging, even down to the waste chute for the toilets, the meshing on the windows. Just an absolutely phenomenal job. This is my favorite era, as it would be the 1970s, which is probably my favorite of the Chicago Northwesterns. You have the most unique power running on the system. A lot of the classic equipment is still running, especially from the systems that the Chicago Northwestern absorbed. So after the as-built and the red scheme, we have the Chicago Northwestern's 1970s version, which is the same caboose, but they were rebuilt in the California Avenue shops in Chicago. And as you can see, the roof walk is now gone. Inside the coal stove would be gone, replaced with fuel oil heater. We have the updated paint scheme of the classic green and old yellow. You also have the classic data tag and outline Northwestern heralds. As you can see, not a whole lot of changes in detail from the rebuild, but a beautiful model nonetheless. And now we move on to what is probably most every Northwestern fan's absolute favorite version of this caboose. The 1980s Clinton, Iowa rebuild in the classic Zito yellow. As you can see, there's been a lot of changes between even the 1970s rebuild, where most of the pieces of the roof walk are now gone. Instead of just having the roof walk itself out, they removed all of the stilts. And then you have the newer antenna. The windows have been welded over with plate steel. The friction bearings have now been replaced by roller bearings. And you've got grating over the windows. This would be the version that probably everyone in today's day and age would remember as classic Northwestern. It also has the very, very Chicago Northwestern red light at the end of the car. Again, I cannot say enough nice about the detail on this equipment. All of the little effects, again, great decals, just so many little touches. And you see the generator for creating power for the electric light. They really, really went all out. Now I know something that a few people have brought up, which is the price point on these. Yes, they are a little pricey, but for what you get, I think there's nothing that compares with the quality and detail. I mean, just look at the classic old Athearn next to its counterpart Tangent. I mean, the Athearn is great. It does its job. It does what it needs to do. But for a hardcore modeler, I think the Tangent is absolutely necessary for any hardcore Northwestern modeler. But to say that also, I'd be happy to see the Athearn at the end of a train in any Chicago Northwestern consist as well. I do sincerely hope that Tangent will be making another run of these cars at some point, as they are just beautiful, well balanced, run flawlessly, and all the interior and exterior lighting features which I probably won't be able to show here in this video, but I'm hoping to get these out to a club to run them and show you guys in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great holiday, and we'll see you soon on the next one.